Okay, so you're planning on a Disney World 2020 vacation, and with so many updates to the resorts and hotels at the most magical place on earth, we're updating our picks a bit for the best and worst of the bunch. So you want to stay tuned to find out which ones rank and which ones tank for us in 2020. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog. 2020 is a year of transformation for Disney World. So much has changed over the past year, and so much is still coming. So if you're headed to Disney World next year, you'll want to really weigh what kind of vacation you want in order to choose your Disney resort. With construction and refurbishments happening, new transportation systems opening, and the benefits of hotels shifting considerably based on those things, we've got a few things you should consider as you're parsing through the Disney resorts for your upcoming visit. All right, let's first talk about the best. Here are the best resorts in Disney World if you want to be close to the new attractions that are coming. So Epcot area resorts are going to be your best choices for the new things that are opening in 2020. They're within walking distance of Galaxy's Edge and Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, which is coming in spring 2020 in Hollywood Studios, plus Remy's Ratatouille Adventure coming in summer of 2020, and the new Fireworks Epcot Forever, and then later in 2020 Harmonious over in Epcot. So those are several of the new things that are coming to Disney World, and if you stay in an Epcot area resort, you're going to be in the middle of all of it and within walking distance of all of it. So those resorts are going to be Yacht and Beach Club. Now the Beach Club is going to put you closest to Epcot. The closest rooms are basically steps to the International Gateway entrance, and both resorts get you access to Stormalong Bay, which is basically a mini water park which is only open to resort guests. Rooms at the Yacht Club have been renovated in recent years, and the Beach Club isn't too shabby either. And our favorite spot to grab an all-over-the-top ice cream is Beaches and Cream, which will be reopening probably in January 2020 after a renovation to expand the location to offer more seating. The Boardwalk Inn is also right there in the middle of the action between Epcot and Hollywood Studios. Staying at the Boardwalk puts you right at the entrance to Epcot and right on the walking path to Hollywood Studios. It takes about 15 minutes to walk to the park entrance, but there's also boat service if you don't want to walk. Rooms are a bit dated here at Boardwalk. Last reno was in 2014, but you're right above everything the Boardwalk has to offer, which is lots of restaurants and some fun nightlife. Also remember, the Skyliner just opened over there at the International Gateway, so the Skyliner is going to get you access to several resorts from Epcot that you didn't have easy access to before, so that's also a benefit for those staying at those Epcot area resorts. Also, the Swan and Dolphin is over there in the Epcot and Hollywood Studios arena. Now, the Swan and Dolphin aren't Disney-owned hotels. They are actually Starwood-owned hotels, but if you're looking for some deluxe accommodations at a typically lower price, you should check out these resorts. The main detraction from these resorts previously was that you had to pay for parking, but now you have to pay for parking at every Disney resort anyway. So here you get a lot of the same amenities that you get from staying at a Disney resort, including extra magic hours, but it usually doesn't cost as much as a deluxe Disney resort, especially not Boardwalk and Yacht and Beach. Now, these are right behind the Boardwalk, so you're still in very close proximity to both Epcot and Hollywood Studios. Plus, you'll get Disney World guest perks, like I said, like those 60-day fast passes and extra magic hours. Note that you won't get a magic band or room charging privileges at locations in the parks or Magical Express, but if you're a Marriott Rewards member, you can use your points on these hotels. Now, these are the best hotels if you want to experience something new right at your resort. These ones are a little bit different from our previous Best Hotels in Disney World video, so I'm excited to share these with you. The Skyliner Resort. Staying at these resorts gets you to access to Disney World's newest transportation system, which in turn gets you to both Hollywood Studios and Epcot super fast with no worrying about waiting in long bus lines at park opening and closing, because the Skyliner system moves continuously most of the time. So this is what I was talking about when I was saying there are considerable changes to the benefits of these hotels. In the past, these hotels I'm about to talk about were off in the weeds. Like, you couldn't get there without taking a bus. It took a long time to get from here to there, and that made a huge difference. Honestly, when I stayed at these resorts pre-Skyliner, I kind of felt like I was stuck. Like, I couldn't get to other resorts really easily unless I had a car or took a minivan or a taxi or something like that, because when you're at these resorts, you would have had to take a bus to a park and then a bus to another resort. So it was just not easy to get around at all. But now with the Skyliner, it is a new day, my friends. Let's talk about these. Caribbean Beach Resort. I should call it Caribbean Beach Resort, right? I think that's what Disney calls it, but it always just comes out Caribbean Beach Resort. This is the Skyliner hub station, so you won't need to transfer between lines, and you actually have 2 stations to use at this resort, as the official Caribbean Beach Resort station is at one end of the resort, and the Riviera Resort station is on the other end of the resort. So guests staying in the Aruba building can use the much closer Riviera station. Yay! The CBR is huge. Caribbean Beach Resort has typically been the lowest priced moderate resort, and it seems that even with the Skyliner, prices haven't jumped up considerably, so it's still a good value. If you have the option to stay in a pirate-themed room, that's really, really fun over there at CBR, and it has a little extra Disney flair, especially if you have kids that love pirates. Banana Cabana is one of the best pool bars in all of Walt Disney World. It always has been, and now that there's been a new renovation, they've got a new menu, it's larger, it's still so much fun. And don't forget, you'll be able to walk to the brand new Riviera Resort. They have tons of restaurants too, including a character meal for breakfast. So you're going to be within walking distance of a character meal, lots of great lounges, Banana Cabana. You've got a table service dining option at Caribbean Beach Resort, a great pirate pool there. So there's lots going on at CBR now. Now that was on our worst resorts video when we did our first kind of worst resorts video here at DFB Guide. So I'm so glad that it's just been completely renovated. It's got new rooms, it's got new transportation, new restaurants. I'm so thrilled for this resort. It's really come into its own in terms of what it offers to guests. Now, it still may not be perfect. There still may be, issues with CBR. So look into it carefully before you book, but all of those extra benefits sure do bring it up in our rankings. Now let's talk Pop Century. Pop may be our top pick out of the Skyliner resorts in terms of an awesome value. Rooms have been recently refurbed, feature a great space-saving Murphy bed, but the main pool, the Hippy Dippy pool, will be closed for renovations in early 2020, so keep that in mind. While it might be a little chilly for a swim, then you can still use any of the other smaller pools at the resort. And since Pop Century is a value resort, it comes in at a much lower price than many other options on our best of list. However, you won't have a full-service restaurant at the resort. But this is a Skyliner resort, so luckily you're just a Skyliner ride away from Caribbean Beach Resort and Riviera, as well as those other 2 parks, Hollywood Studios and Epcot. And you're also walking distance to Art of Animation if you want to check out another food court. Speaking of AOA, Art of Animation Resort, this one is definitely a crowd favorite. They have family suites there, which are wonderful. They provide a ton more space than a typical hotel room, especially a value resort room, but they often come in cheaper than booking 2 hotel rooms for larger groups. So definitely consider this. We love Art of Animation's family suites. They're great. Now, we do have another big pool renovation, this one happening in fall 2020. The Big Blue Pool will likely be under construction for a few months, so keep that in mind because fall is still swimming weather in Florida. So if you do decide to stay there, take advantage of those family suites and the Skyliner at Art of Animation. You maybe want to plan a water park day or something if you're looking forward to a swim. Now, of course, Art of Animation has other pools as well that you can use, but they're not nearly as cool as Big Blue Pool. Next set of best resorts if you want to stay in a brand new room. So Disney's brand new hotels offer some big bang for your buck. They've been expanding a whole lot, and that means 2 brand new places to stay in 2020. Riviera Resort is that new Disney Vacation Club resort, which opens December 16th. You can stay here if you're not a DVC member, though, and Disney is offering some pretty great discounts for Disney Visa card holders and annual pass holders at the moment, like 40% off to stay there. So that's a good one to consider if you're going in early 2020. Disney World is getting several new restaurants with this one. Topolino's, that rooftop signature restaurant offering dinner and a character breakfast. Bar Riva is the poolside bar. Le Petit Cafe is the lobby coffee spot by day and wine bar at night. And Primo Piatto is a quick service trattoria down there. So this resort is inspired by Walt's trips to the Mediterranean and is a truly gorgeous deluxe hotel. I'm really intrigued by how they actually did the furnishings here. Like, I'm in love with their little couch/Murphy bed thing. It's so cool, you guys. I love it. And I really kind of want my house to look like the rooms here. So maybe I'll be making some renovations in my house. But it's really beautiful. Plus, there are some great views, great fireworks viewing from the rooftop. And of course, this hotel also has the bonus of being right on that Skyliner. Now, this one is a little bit pricier. The small studio rooms that sleep just 2 people with a sofa that converts to that pull-down bed, like I said, start at $392 a night. So that's a little pricey. We're talking like, Polynesian resort prices there. So take advantage of those discounts if you can get them right now. And then we also want to mention Gran Destino Tower over there at Coronado Springs. Now, this is interesting because, spoiler alert, Coronado is going to pop into our worst resorts list down here at the bottom of this video. So Gran Destino Tower is an interesting choice to mention in our best of. But again, if you want to stay in a brand new room, and I know we've mentioned on the channel before that Gran Destino offers a lot of deluxe amenities for a lower price, including club level amenities. So let's move on here and talk about this. This is luxe on a budget, so you want to consider that if that's what you're looking for. Maybe you're honeymooning, but you don't have the huge budget of the deluxe resorts. This one's a great option. So this hotel design is inspired by that surrealist Spanish architecture. It's beautiful, has a serious upscale vibe that you won't find in other Disney World moderate resorts, but it still has that moderate resort price tag, thank goodness. The hotel also features rooftop dining at Toledo and the neighboring Dahlia Lounge, or you can grab a coffee or cocktail on the first floor Barcelona Lounge, which a lot of locals actually head over there just on the regular, so it's really nice. Now remember, this one is a big convention hotel, so if you're looking for a super family friendly or lots of obvious Disney touches kind of hotel, this one might not be for you. This is more of the I'm staying in a hotel that is very subtle Disney touches versus over the top Disney like an Art of Animation or a Pop Century. And remember, if you're looking for those extra amenities like the fitness centers, there's 2 fitness centers at Coronado Springs now, business centers, spas, high class dining, hot tubs. That's something that a lot of people talk about. That Coronado is the only moderate with a hot tub, and the values don't have them either. So that's, if you like hot tubs at the pool, they've got that here. So there's a lot going on for Gran Destino. They do have club level accommodations there, which is awesome because you get access to that club level lounge. And the club level here doesn't cost as much as it does at the deluxe resorts. So it's a great option if you're looking for luxury, but you're not wanting to spend that deluxe resort budget price. So this is a good one for maybe solo travelers or, like I said, honeymooners, couples without kids. Now, of course, couples with kids can go stay here. It's still a Disney resort. It's still a lot of fun, and you still have access to all those amenities that you do at all the other Disney resorts. So don't discount it. But if you don't want to run into a lot of kind of corporate folk, if you don't want to run into a lot of folks that are just there for work, then this might not be the best one. Same thing with Swan and Dolphin, honestly. Swan and Dolphin tends to have a lot of convention traffic as well. So that's a good consideration for that resort too. Okay, now this is going to be the controversial one on this list of worst of list. We've got a couple here that are going to be pretty controversial. So you might want to think twice about these resorts that are now much farther from the action than some of the other resorts. We used to be able to say that, those value resorts, Pop and Art of Animation, Caribbean Beach, you couldn't get anywhere from them. And so that's why they maybe weren't the best places to stay. But now that Skyliner makes it a lot easier to get places. So now we're going to talk about a few of those worst resorts because they are farther from the parks, farther from the action. It's going to take you longer to get from there to where you're going. First up, Coronado Springs. Yep, we know we just recommended Gran Destino at Coronado, but the rest of the resort doesn't quite have the same appeal as that gorgeous new tower. Coronado isn't conveniently located, and the influx of more guests and convention goers might make travel to the parks a little more of a pain. So the only park transportation is buses here, and they need to stop at several spots around the resort. So if you're at a middle stop, you'll end up cruising around the entire resort on your way to and from the parks, which can take a lot of travel time. Now, if you're staying at any of the rooms at Coronado Springs Resort, you can enjoy the restaurants at Gran Destino Tower, but know that it may take 15 to 20 minutes to walk from one side of the resort to the other. All right, Wilderness Lodge, Fort Wilderness, Animal Kingdom Lodge. These are also going to be resorts that are going to be a little more remote. Now, Wilderness Lodge, Fort Wilderness do have boats directly to the Magic Kingdom, which is great. Animal Kingdom Lodge is going to be really far away from everything. Even though it's right next to Animal Kingdom, you still have to take a bus to get there. Now, with Wilderness Lodge, it's a gorgeous resort, very secluded, perfect for the holidays. Fort Wilderness, that's the only place you can camp at Walt Disney World, so that's a huge draw if you're a camper. And the cabins at Fort Wilderness are an excellent value if you don't mind dedicating a lot of time to travel using Disney World transportation. Now, you can park your car at your cabin, so if you do have a car that you bring on site and you can drive to all the parks, that makes things a lot easier. But if you're relying solely on Disney transportation, that's going to be a lot of time dedicated to transportation if you're staying at Fort Wilderness in the cabins. Also, if you're looking for peace and quiet and scenic views across Bay Lake, you might want to reconsider Wilderness Lodge in Fort Wilderness, at least for the time being, because Reflections Resort is under construction there. That's the one directly across the lake, and while things haven't kicked off quite yet, we expect a lot of action in 2020 with the construction on that resort. So keep that in mind as well. That one, by the way, is opening in 2022. Now, Animal Kingdom Lodge, again, this one's really, really far away from most of the places you want to be. We have some of our favorite restaurants there, Boma, Sanaa, Chico. Wonderful, wonderful restaurants. It's probably my favorite hotel from a food perspective. You got those great animals right outside your window if you're staying in a Savannah View room. It's awesome. If you're a big Animal Kingdom fan, it's only about a 5-minute bus ride from that park. But if you're looking to head to Magic Kingdom on the regular, plan at least 20 minutes in transit, and don't forget you have to wait for the bus. It's going to be at least 15 minutes to get to both Epcot and Hollywood Studios, and again, that's not counting the time waiting for the bus. The regular hotel rooms here are currently under renovation and should be completed by the end of the year, with refurbs moving to the DVC villas in the beginning of 2020. So there may be some construction noise to contend with, although Disney is really good about limiting construction to acceptable times. Now, if you're considering KIDANI Village, let me just put in a little PSA that you should always request to not stay in those Pumbaa rooms. Those Pumbaa rooms are so far away from everything happening. So try to get a room near the lobby if you do decide to stay at KIDANI. I feel like KIDANI is extremely remote. Again, you're going to take a bus to every park. And also, they do only have Sanaa there. They don't have a counter service dining location. So you've got to get yourself all the way over to Jumbo House, which either means taking their little shuttle bus or walking over there to have access to a counter service dining location. So if you're hanging out in your room and you're having a nice, relaxing day, it can be hard to get access to grab and go eats from the Pumbaa rooms in KIDANI and from KIDANI itself. All right, now, the last set of our worst list is going to be the resorts undergoing construction this year. So All-Star Music and Sports, both of these value resorts will be undergoing major room renovations once All-Star Movies is complete. The style is going to be similar to what we've seen happen at Pop Century with the Murphy bed rather than the 2 standard beds in these ones. All-Star Movies should be finished with room renovations by the end of 2019. So if you're choosing between the 3 resorts, that would be our top pick. But if you can swing the upgrade, we'd highly recommend springing for Pop Century, as you'll be guaranteed a new room and you get access to the Skyliner over there too. Saratoga Springs Resort and Spa undergoing a general resort-wide refurbishment right now, including crews working consistently on building exteriors and guest room interiors. Now, interior updates will be changes to floor and wall treatments, thank goodness, because this resort really needs them, plus the addition of a new style fold-down sofa bed. Some of the new rooms are going to be available in 2020, but this is a huge 2-year renovation project, so there's no guaranteeing you'll get a brand new room if you stay there next year. And if you are staying at a hotel that's undergoing room renovations, you can make a request to stay in a refurbished room ahead of your trip, but check in with the front desk when you arrive to check on availability. Just remember that rooms will be limited and there's no way to guarantee that you'll get a new room. Now, even if you do end up in a not-so-new room, you're still walking distance to Disney Springs, which is a big perk, and this is the only resort that you don't need to hop on a bus or a boat to get there. So that's our thinking for 2020, you guys. The best ofs, if you want to be close to new attractions, if you want to experience something brand new right at your resort with that Skyliner, or if you want to stay in a brand new room. Those are the best hotels for those specific desires. And of course, you want to think twice about those hotels that are going to be under construction, have construction close by, or that are now kind of in the middle of nowhere. It might take a lot of extra travel time out of your vacation days to get where you want to go. So hopefully this is helpful for you guys as you're choosing your hotel for 2020. And stay tuned with us too, because we're talking a lot about the changes that Disney's making. Like I said, they made a lot this year. They're going to make a lot next year, leading up to that 50th anniversary in 2021. So stay tuned here. Watch our other construction and changes and transformations video. We're trying to keep everybody up to date about what's going on so you guys make the best decisions for your best trip ever when you head over to Disney World next year. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog. We welcome your comments. I know you guys are going to have a lot of different things to say about this particular video. We just ask you to be courteous and kind to one another in the comment section. Thanks so much. This is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.